Rikka Sun Avalon got 39th out of the YCS, which is actually kind of sad to see. We have Bystial Thunder Dragon Link, take 2, and we have an Edison deck profile near the end of the video as well. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. The first deck list we're going to be seeing here, I see this, or seen this pop up on the Rikka Facebook group. It was 39th place for, well, it was basically bubbled out of the YCS, which is really sad because it would have been really cool to see this. I love hearing about little tales out of, you know, YCSs. It stinks that this didn't get the chance to perform, but the fact that we were so close to seeing this edge in, and I mean, you get the amazing chance here to see Neko Main King doing its job, which is actually quite impressive to see this. All right, this is like going to be your biggest help. During your opponent's turn, when this card in position sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, it becomes the end phase of this turn. Easy stuff, actually. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom, your 1 Lone Fire, your 2 copies of Mudon, 2 copies of Primula. We have triple copies of Rikka Petal, 2 copies of Rikka Princess. We have 1 Snowdrop with 1 Sunseed Twin, triple copies of Genius Loki. We have 1 Called by the Grave with 1 1-for-1, triple copies of Glamour, triple copies of Con, 2 copies of Sowing, triple copies of Talents. We have triple copies of Unexpected Die. You have triple Infinite Permanents, 1 Rikka Sheet, and triple copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. All basic stuff, pretty much. Like, the main deck for this always feels very, very standard. We have 1 copy of the Dance Peony, 1 Sunvine Thrasher, 1 Sunvine Healer, 1 Malias, triple copies of Dryas, then we have 1 Balancer, 2 copies of Jasmine with 1 Teardrop, 1 Hyperton, 2 copies of Strenna, and then we have 1 copy of Alcei. Side deck here you have triple Neko Main King, 1 Lingaribo, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, triple Dark Ruler No More, triple Lightning Storm, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here, ramping up your bubble list. And yeah, I wish that this would have performed a little bit better, but I think for the most part that this deck did very, very well, all things considered. Next up here is a Thunder list. This was from the Kami Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck list on Facebook, posted this. Here we go ahead and put this in here because seeing the Ishizu package, seeing play, and something else is actually quite nice. You get the chance to see the overall evolution for how this deck is moving along in the format. And yeah, this was a day 1 performance. It didn't, you know, do too crazy at the end of the day, but it's still worth seeing the progress and evolution for what we're trying to do here. Yeah, you still have your Ishizu packaging. Why would you not play, you know, a fusion package while you're going on along with full combos? So we have 2 copies of Vegito, triple copies of Battery Man Solar, 1 Collapse Serpent with 2 copies of Jerusalem, triple copies of Magnanet. We have 2 Saronir, 2 Chaos Dragon Lavinier with 1 Chaos Emperor. We have triple copies of Kelbeck, triple copies of Keldo, triple copies of Mudora. We have 1 Starleaf Safe Fort with 2 copies of Havnus, 2 Merly, 1 Reno Heart, and triple copies of Shayren. Yeah, triple Lubellion, your 1 Dragon Dark, 1 Dragon Hawk with 2 copies of Dragon Roar. Then we have 1 Wyvern Buster. Then we have 1 Branded Brigade, triple copies of Chaos Space, 1 Instant Fusion, 2 copies of Pod Desires. We have triple copies of Paralineo, 1 Terraforming, triple copies of the Melody of the Awakening Dragons, triple Talents, and 1 copy of the Branded Beast. Down in the next, you get 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Sprite Spin, 1 Heavenly Spheres, 1 Dahark, 1 Apo with 1 Access Code, 1 Baguski, 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 Beatrice with 1 Abyss Dweller. Then you have 1 Rukalos, 1 Kit Gallos with 1 Kaleido Heart, 1 Mud with 1 Garuda. Then we have 1 Drewsworm with 1 Saronir, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, triple copies of Gamma, 1 Scattershot, 1 Driver, triple copies of Droplet, 1 Feather Duster, and 2 copies of Twin Twisters here, wrapping up your 60-card concoction. Very, very interesting. Next up here was Flaunderies out of the event. Now, Nadir's Servant here has been gaining, I guess, a lot of popularity. I've seen some Flaunder lists as of late that have just been focusing more on this. Getting the extra deck dump for the draw or the Anentis pop, I guess has become really, really essential to this deck. And it's not like you can't just follow this up with like a sub-normal summon so you can do your thing, because you can just dedicate your a map normal summon to this along the way. And getting the Dogmatica Punishment is actually kind of crazy for this deck. I found overall, like, seeing the progress with Flunder this format, how this deck has evolved back into Nadir has been kind of interesting. So we have 1 Stormwinds, we have 1 DD Crow, triple copies of Dimension Shifter, 1 Ecclesia, we have triple copies of Eagle, we have 2 copies of N-Pen, triple copies of Rabina with 1 Stritch, we have 1 Toucan Sam, 1 Apex Avion with 1 Ryza, we have 1 Call by the Grave, triple copies of the Advent, we have triple copies of Magnificent Map, 1 copy of the Unexplored Winds, we have 1 Gold Sarcophagus, and we have 1 Mystical Mine, triple copies of Nadir Servant, triple copies of Pot of Duality with triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, and we have 1 Terraforming, 1 Punishment, and 1 copy of Dreaming Town. Down in the next deck, you got 2 Shirags, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Harpy Conductor, 1 Juggernaut Libby with 1 Gustav Max, and then we have 1 copy of the Meteorologic Aggregator. Then we have 1 copy of the Promenade Thrush, 1 Assembled Nightingale, 1 Downer Magician with 1 Zeus, and then you got 2 Garuda and 2 copies of Venetis. Side deck here, you got triple Dark Rule No More, triple copies of Enemy Controller, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 copies of Different Dimension Ground, triple copies of Evenly Matched, and of course, triple copies of your Harpy's Feather Duster. Good support. Oh, God, Featherstorm is such an amazing card. I can't believe this is still going around. Wrapping up your Flounder list. And then we have Cody Angeloff's top cut list, 4th place here. Now, the thing that caught my attention with this is one of the first lists that I've seen that actually is doing Dark Law shenanigans with Mass Change 2. I was actually kind of wondering if people would start to adapt the idea of, being able to turbo out a Dark Law and have it turn on as a Macrocosmo while your opponent really kind of gets messed up by it. And that's kind of like the major key point for this is this card will destroy the mirror match, all right? So this is definitely meant to, sway this deck's already challenging mirror match into a blowout mode. So we have 1 copy of Agido, 1 Jerusalem, 2 copies of Magmanut, we got triple copies of Herald of Orange Light, triple Kelbeck with triple copies of Keldo, triple copies of Mudora, we have triple Havnus with triple Merly, 2 copies of Arena Heart, triple copies of Shayren, 1 Instant Fusion, 2 copies of your Mass Change 2. Then we have triple copies of Paralineo, 1 Heartbeat, 2 copies of Screech, 1 Terraforming, 1 Crime, and 2 copies of Solik. Then we have 1 Sprint, 1 Sprite Elf, 1 Dahark, 1 Baguski, 1 Zeus with 1 Beatrice, 1 Abyssdweller with 1 Baron. We have 1 Rukalos with 1 Kitgalos, 1 copy Kaleido Heart, 1 Draco Stapelia, 1 Mudmud, 1 Darklaw, and 1 Garuda. Side deck here we have 2 Druisworm, 1 Magnanut with 1 Pankratops, triple copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, triple copies of Gamma, 1 Scattershot, 1 Driver, and triple copies of Lightning Storm here. Wrapping up your list, and Heartbeat has pretty much become, looks like a staple at this most point as a one-of. You have your time differentiators here for the format. You have your extended Bystial package in the side deck, and then, of course, something that edges out the mirror to make things a lot more tolerable. Looks pretty straightforward to me. All right, and the last as we have here is an Edison format. It was actually interesting hearing about the Edison side events out of the weekend and how Konami staff was apparently very unprepared for the amount of people that wanted to take place in these particular formats, which I think is a good sign. That means that these particular events are growing. That means a lot more people are excited for these particular things, which is really nice. So we have triple copies of DD Warrior Lady, 1 Exploder Dragon, triple copies of Quackimere Draco, triple copies of Mass Dragon, triple copies of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon with triple copies of Red Eyes Wyvern. We have 2 copies of Totem Dragon, 1 copy of the White Knight Dragon. We have 2 Book of Moon, 1 copy of Brain Control. We have 1 Future Fusion with 2 Gold Sark, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 MST with 1 Smashing Ground. Then we have 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Call of the Haunted, triple copies of Dimension Prison, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 copies of Starlight Road, 1 Torrential Tribute, and 1 Trap Dust Shoot. Extra deck, you got 1 Stardust Dragon, 2 5-Headed Dragon, 2 Chimera Tech Fortress, and then we had Smash and Ground and Compulsory Evacuation Device on the side. In the video it was mentioned that there would be more for the side, but this is just what we had access to, evidently. So I want to say big things about Edison. The alternate formats that are present is actually a great chance for people to get into the game and actually have fun in some of the older formats that they had. So if you're going to a major event, you want to play some of the older formats, this is actually a fantastic chance to do so. Side events are actually growing, which is kind of nice. So guys, what do you think about these lists? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.